Today's 16-bit superhero game is from 1993. It's for the Sega Genesis. It's called Eternal Champions. And this is a game that I spent my money on, my hard-earned money on for my original Sega Genesis. And I loved this game back then. And has it stood the test of time? No. It's still something that really is near and dear to my heart. It still charms me because it was Sega's attempt to dive into the superhero world and create their own superheroes. They had done a lot of great partnerships with both DC and Marvel, but here they were coming up with their own characters, which are based on the idea that they're scattered across the universe of the game and from different areas and from different time periods, and they're all brought together to have this massive contest, to see who is the Eternal Champion. Like Slash, this caveman looking dude with this giant club. I don't know how much he sort of constitutes a superhero, but he's got some great abilities, like the ability to throw an opponent up in the air and then bash that opponent with his club like it's a baseball bat. Love that. Super fun move to pull off. There's also Larsen, who is like this cat burglar, kind of shadow / Batman-esque mysterious dude from 1920 Chicago. He's got a grappling hook and some great abilities and some great, equipment that he can use to pull off stuff. There's Jetta, who's got this kind of super heroic / female wrestler vibe to her. There's Blade, who turns into like a lightning bolt when he jumps up into the air and does a kind of an air kick. There's Shadow, kind of like a stealthy ninja type character. There's Midnight, who is a little bit like a magical warlock with abilities that way. There's Rax, as a cyborg character with some rocket powers that allow the character to whip across the screen super fast. The animation in the game is definitely, a little stilted, a little stiff, and it hasn't really aged all that well. But there's still, an attraction here. It's still super fun to pull off these heroic uppercuts and to pick up a character and throw them across the screen. The challenge can get pretty high, and one of the cool things that they've done with the title is they give you lots of ways to kind of practice. They have like a dojo. Not only can you play holograms of all of these different characters and get a feel for how they play and their different move sets and what you're going to be up against when you play either in single player or in multiplayer, but you can also challenge yourself against these practice orbs that, are positioned across the arena in different ways, so you can practice your high kicks and your mid kicks and your punches and all that stuff. And it's a pretty smart way to kind of ease you into the idiosyncrasies of this game because it's a little bit different than something like Street Fighter and stuff. I found it a bit tricky to pull off the special moves. I definitely had to search on the internet to get a moves list so I could feel a little bit more confident with these different characters. But I dug the game. There's lots of great, clever bits in this game. Thought the music was cool. I even like the way that the game opens up and you've got one of the characters come out and bash the Sega logo and then you jump right into it. There is a lot of sizzle in this game. There was a Sega CD version of the game. I don't think I ever played that, though. I've only ever had the Genesis cartridge, but I love this game. I'm never giving it away. And the cool thing is that Sega, I think, also loves this game. They've re-released it a bunch of times in their collections. It's also on the Sega Genesis Mini. Not the best 16-bit superhero game out there. I don't think it's the best fighting game in the 16-bit superhero genre. That might be the Turtles Tournament Fighters game, actually, if I think about it. But this is still a lot of fun to go back to. I'm going to give Eternal Champions a 7.5 out of 10.